Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a little tuxedo cat in soft pastel. The full-length demo from this one is over on my Patreon channel, but if you enjoy this speedy version here, then as always please do hit subscribe here and check out all of my other playlists here on YouTube. So it's time for this month's mini demo. I do one of these each month, and the idea is that I keep it small, I try to work more quickly, and I also try to choose subjects that work on a smaller scale or as a smaller, shorter project to undertake in soft pastel. This one is on one of my old favourite papers, Hahnemühle velour paper. And so it's quite a fuzzy, soft texture. Sometimes when I want to use less detail on something, this paper is just the ticket because I can really be suggestive with the details on this paper. So it's just 6 inches square, so a tiny little demo this month. And I am using mostly my soft pastel sticks from Unison, along with a little bit of pastel pencil too. The pastel pencil is mostly used around the edges of the cat. You can see the very fine edges there. But then the majority of the rest of the fur is all built up using the soft sticks. I'm also using a black pastel, a harder black pastel, as I often do in most of my work. If I'm using black, it's usually a harder pastel stick. But even a lot of the smaller hairs, like these little hairs inside the ears, I'm putting some of it down using the soft pastel sticks, and I'm also making use of a little bit of pastel pencil where I can, because it doesn't always go on the best on this paper. Especially the lighter coloured pencils, sometimes they struggle a little bit on some of the pastel papers, including this velour paper. Dark pencils, not usually a problem. So you can see there I can use the dark pencil in the detail in the eyes. But those lighter coloured pencils are often a little bit more of a struggle. So where possible, I will make use of tiny little shards of soft pastel because I'm going to get a stronger colour coming off of those. I'm going to get a lot more pigment go on to the paper. So I can work and rework an area, as you can see here in the eye. It takes me several goes sometimes to get the highlight placed just where I want it. But the beauty of soft pastel is that it's quite versatile, it's quite forgiving. So your first mark doesn't have to be the final mark. You can usually have another go at things. And when I'm working on a smaller scale, that's often the case, especially with placing little highlights on things. Sometimes I don't get it right first time. And you can go again, like you can see here on the other eye. So it's quite a forgiving medium. You don't have to be super precise first time round. It will allow you to work and rework a little bit. So a black and white cat, a tuxedo cat. He's got such character in his little face. But what I was interested in demoing with this mini demo was just how little detail you sometimes need in order to create something very realistic. And my aim here was to show the two extreme types of fur. So we've got the dark black areas where I've managed to bring in a little bit of definition there so that it's not just a black blob of fur at the top of his head. And then here on the white sections, I really wanted to show how I can use colours to create the definition, make that white fur seem like it's got some depth to it. And for this little demo, I was using my Unison Animal set. That's a set of colours that I curated for Unison Pastels. And I often still pick this setup, especially if I'm creating a demo, as I really like to show what that selection of colours can actually do. And some of these lovely vibrant colours are in there for a good reason, and it's mostly for when I'm trying to replicate white coloured fur. And you can see how a lot of those colours work so well to create the warmth that we can see in the reference image of this cat. And then of course within that set I've got pinks and fleshy colours as well. You can see the pink getting used on his little nose. So this full real-time tutorial is over on Patreon. I've got a full category of mini demos which are all shorter projects, so they're all under 4 hours. This one in particular is going to be around 2.5 hours this took me. And I've chatted all the way through, so if you're going to work along with me, you'll have my narration as company all the way, explaining my colour choices, the types of marks I'm making. But I really do love painting these mini demos each month. Quite often, the other things I'm painting throughout the month are much bigger and more complicated. I've just finished a rather large image of a wolf's face, and it felt like a bit of a marathon to spend all of that time just chipping away at a really big face. And then this in comparison feels like such a relief. I did this in one afternoon. If you haven't got much time to paint, then shorter projects like this are really a fantastic way to squeeze in a bit of practice without having to commit hours and hours to one piece of work. So I really enjoy this mini demo series. Gives me a little relief from the bigger pieces that I'm working on. And I just love the fact that with soft pastel, you can work big and loose or big and detailed, or you can work smaller and loosely. You can be much more suggestive with your details and still achieve something that's quite realistic. So I absolutely love this medium and how versatile it is. There's not just one way to work with it. Soft pastel really lends itself to so many different styles and so many different levels of detail. So I hope that you'll come and check me out over on Patreon. I've got lots of different styles of tutorial to suit everyone. But if you have enjoyed this here, then do check out my other videos here on YouTube to get you started. And please, as always, do remember to hit subscribe. It helps me out so much. Thanks to everyone who has already. But thanks to you for watching. And until next time, happy pasteling.